Hello, I'm Mike. I head up the structured finance and sustainable finance functions in OCBC. Today, I'm delighted to have with us Helen Wong, our Deputy President and Head of Global Wholesale Banking. Hi, Helen.
Hi, Mike.
It's so exciting to be part of this Singapore FinTech Festival. Today, we'll be talking about two topics, sustainability and sustainable finance. And just on the topic of sustainability alone, there is so much that we can talk about. The Ministry of Sustainability and the Environment announced in August this year that it expects to create 55,000 new sustainability jobs over the next 10 years. The Singapore government has also announced its ambition to halve Singapore's carbon emissions by 2050 and achieve carbon neutrality as soon as viable. This region will need hundreds of billions of dollars in investments every year to support sustainable projects. Bringing capital to these projects is where sustainable finance comes in. It is also very clear and no secret that Singapore aspires to be a sustainable finance hub for the region. Many financial institutions are already now actively promoting sustainable finance to support their clients' sustainability efforts. Helen, you're a veteran in the financial sector. You have got more than 35 years of experience. You must have seen many developments when it comes to sustainability.
Thanks, Mike. I think there are two interesting trends I can highlight. The first one, over the last few decades, the banking sector has evolved from seeing sustainability from a risk management perspective to now seeing it as a business opportunity. I think the second trend is interesting. We are moving from green to sustainable, and this is to expand beyond environmental and to include social considerations as well.
Indeed. So do you think the current trend that we are seeing in sustainability, do you think it is going to continue? And if so, why do you think the financial sector is embracing sustainability?
Well, the current trend absolutely will continue. I think you just look at the world, we are experiencing the hottest summers in many parts of the world. And then we have seen a lot of, unfortunately, climate-related disasters over the years. And we are also seeing countries like China, Japan, South Korea committing to a timeline to say that they want to target carbon neutrality. So this is all exciting, and sustainability is very important to our business. This is perhaps more than ever. We're also seeing social inequality worsening as income disparity widens, especially during this period when we have the COVID pandemic. The second question, for the financial sector, I do believe that sustainable finance is the right thing to do, and it is here to stay. And in fact, will become even more prominent in the many years to come. I think there are 3 points worth noting. First one, financial institutions have a strong influence in the society. We know that. And working with the business community, we can drive the sustainability agenda. This is, for example, look at what banks are doing. For OCBC, we are the first Southeast Asian bank to commit to stop new financing of coal-fired power plants. We committed that back in 2019.
Yes, I remember that day very clearly when we made the announcement. And that really created a very good ripple effect because within a space of 2 weeks, 2 other banks actually joined us and committed to cease financing of coal-fired power plants.
Yeah. I think the second point is sustainable finance is the important thing to do and smart thing to do because it helps us to monitor our long-term risk judgment on how things are happening. So I think I'd like to point out TCFD. I think it's a term a lot of people know, but it's short for the Task Force for Climate-Related Financial Disclosure that was set up by the G20 Financial Stability Board. It shows that there are strong consensus that climate change can have material impact on our financial performance. I think that's still a third point. More importantly, I think you and me, we're very excited about business opportunities in sustainability sectors. Clean energy, green buildings, clean transportation, green infrastructure, you name it. Mike, you have been leading the charge on sustainable finance for us over the last 2 years. How has the journey been?
It has been very fruitful, I would say, very exciting journey since we launched our Sustainable Finance Group 2 years ago, towards the back end of 2018. The objective of the group was and is still very much to support our clients' sustainability efforts through the bank's sustainable finance product offerings. The growth of sustainable finance in the region has just been phenomenal over the past 2 years. Besides supporting our clients just in Singapore, we have been supporting many clients in the region as well: Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and Myanmar. In fact, we did the first ever green loan in Myanmar. We have also supported our clients outside the region: China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, South Korea, and even further beyond Australia, UK, and the US. And in fact, in 2019, the demand for sustainable finance from our clients was so strong that it helped us top 2 league tables in sustainable finance. In 2018, we had set for ourselves a target to achieve a sustainable finance portfolio of $10 billion by 2022. And because of the strong support from our client, we actually met the target 2 years ahead of schedule, and we met it in the first quarter of this year. So since that time, we have revised our target to an ambitious 25 by 25. What do we mean by that? It's to have a sustainable finance portfolio of $25 billion by the year 2025.
I am indeed very glad about our overachievement in meeting our original target. And I also like our renewed 25 by 25 target. It has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, indeed. Helen, although it's very clear that sustainable finance is gaining momentum in Asia, I still very often get asked the same questions. Are Asian banks doing enough? I would really like to hear your views on that, Helen.
Well, clearly, we can definitely do more. I would like to see more green bond issuance, for example, from the public sector, but also from the private sector as well. And I would like to see more product innovations out of this region. We talk about green hedging, for example, and obviously we need to have green investments so that we have green bonds. I remain positive as the developments in recent years are truly impressive. And our clients and our partners are really working hard to make good impacts. I am also grateful that the governments in countries like China and of course Singapore are strong supporters of green finance and the sustainability agenda. Although sustainability issues cannot be fully driven by governments or regulators alone, but indeed regulations can help the sustainability efforts by leveling the playing field. I'd like to cite an example. MAS recently announced their renewed and reinforced green finance actions. A case in point is the recently introduced Green and Sustainability Link Loan Grant Scheme. A bit long, but it's important, as OCBC was one of the first banks to tap on. As a leading bank in Singapore, we are very much looking forward to partner MAS to further develop the sustainable finance ecosystem here. Mike, turning to you. You have more than 20 years of project finance experience in financing the energy transition. Globally, we are seeing the switch from coal to renewable energy. What's your take on that?
Actually, 20 years is a short time compared to your 35 years, Helen.
Oh dear.
But the energy transition story is one that I find particularly exciting. Globally, we are seeing the cost of renewable energy falling, and falling very rapidly too. More projects are getting developed, and when more projects are developed, the technology improves, economies of scales are achieved, and this drives down the cost even further. And as a result, we see more projects coming on stream. It's very much a virtuous cycle. A case in point is solar modules. We have seen a 90% drop in cost in the last decade. Going forward, it could well be cheaper to get electricity from renewable energy sources than from burning fossil fuels. And this will be far better for the environment. New technologies are also getting developed, such as floating offshore wind farm projects, green hydrogen storage. And from a banker's perspective, I think there's just so many exciting business opportunities arising from this energy transition. So we should really grab it. And having said that, the energy transition is just one subset of the sustainability agenda. So, Helen, what do you think we should do to move sustainable finance to the next level?
Actually, what you said is exciting enough, but my answer to your question is simple. We need to proactively engage all our clients in all sectors and all markets. well, including the one in carbon intensive or hard to abate sectors. No one is free from sustainability issues. In Singapore, the property sector has been a true leader in driving the green finance agenda. So we have seen a lot of loans and bonds with the real estate companies here. And we want to see more activities from other sectors such as energy, as you mentioned, infrastructure and transportation sectors as well. I think both from large corporations as well as the SMEs.
Yes, I agree. We are all very excited to have seen companies in other sectors tapping on sustainable finance, including companies in the telco sector, shipping sector, as well as the energy sector. But I really want to pick out one of the points that you raised, Helen, SMEs. It is very true that traditionally, the focus of sustainable finance has been on the larger corporates because they tend to be, or they are at least perceived as the largest emitters, and they are the organizations that can create the biggest impacts. But SMEs, if you take a step back, are really the backbones of our economy. In Singapore, SMEs contribute to 50% of our GDP, 70% of our workforce. So what can we do to bring SMEs onto the sustainable finance platform?
Good question, Mike. I agree that SMEs make up a very important part of our economy. So when it comes to sustainability, they are critical players because they provide the technologies, the products, services, empowering all our larger corporates and the public sector to transition their businesses to a low carbon, resource efficient and less polluting model. I'm excited to share that OCBC has recently launched a sustainable finance framework designed specifically for SMEs. This is an innovative and first of its kind solution for SME clients, covering all sustainability sectors in the region. What does it do? The framework allows SMEs to gain access to sustainable financing and demonstrate that they are also actively contributing to the sustainability agenda. Well, including SMEs in the conversation obviously helps to strengthen the overall sustainable financing ecosystem and promotion of the sustainability agenda in the region. Just to share, we have already offered financing to our SME clients for water efficiency, energy efficiency, and circular economy projects under the framework.
It is really a very exciting development, and we hope it sets a good market precedent because sustainable finance should be innovative, and more importantly, it needs to be more inclusive because sustainable finance should be made available to anyone that is willing and able and ready to make a positive impact. Helen, we are still in the middle of the COVID pandemic. How do you think COVID has impacted and will impact the overall sustainability agenda?
While the pandemic has caused many businesses to struggle, COVID-19 has actually cast a greater spotlight on the issues related to our environment and society. The pandemic has offered corporates around the world an opportunity of a total rethink on how their businesses will operate in the decades to come. COVID-19 might be a near-term crisis, but climate change, together with other social topics, such as providing access to essential services, remain the longer-term issues for companies and the societies to address. There are lots of conversation going on now about building back better. I am a firm believer of that, and OCBC will be very happy to support our clients in their efforts. Simply put, sustainability makes good business sense.
That's what we have observed as well. Despite the pandemic, our team continues to be busy. Our activities in sustainable finance continues to be strong this year.
Busy is good.
Busy is good.
Yeah.
So one final question, Helen. Do you have any advice for our financial sector peers who are still hesitating a little bit about coming on board the sustainability train?
Advice, keep the temperature down. But I truly believe that there is no turning back from sustainability transition globally. We have only one Earth. So now is not the time to debate whether it is required or to try to assess the short-term outcomes. The train is taking off. Let's all get on board. How about you, Mike?
I totally agree with you. All hands on deck. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you, Helen. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Mike.